Last year this time, I posted my very first YouTube video, which is all about how to let go of those thoughts that don't serve you. Well, since then, I've learned a ton more working with different people, doing research, and trying a lot of things on myself. And today I want to touch back on those tips, but this time also bringing in the power of your subconscious mind and how important it is to use this to let go of thoughts that don't serve you. So today it's going to be a very cozy video. Grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a glass of wine, whatever you're doing. It's a chill video, but also jam-packed with information. And I'm looking forward to sharing all of this with you. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Atena. Every Sunday I post videos to share tips, tricks, guidance to build those pretty happy habits so you can live a pretty happy life. I would love to have you on board. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, now is your chance. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and you click that bell notification so you know exactly when I'm posting my next video. One of the really first tips I ever shared on my channel and that I continue to share is having a gratitude journal. And today I want to go a bit deeper into why that is, and even if you don't want to do gratitude journaling, I just want you to understand a bit of the science behind how your mind functions. In that original video, I explained to you the benefits of gratitude journaling, and just to give it a 2-second sum up, trains your mind to be more present focused versus jumping back and forth, going between the past and the future. And it also builds positive resilience in your mind. Instead of being constantly looking at the negatives, your mind is kind of training itself to look at the glass half full versus half empty. And why this is really important is that you have to understand that your mind has gathered data your whole life. And your mind loves the familiar. And right now, for example, we're in a pandemic. It's an extremely unfamiliar situation. So it's going to do the quickest thing it can to make you feel safe. And a lot of times when people have a lot of anxious thoughts, they try to push them down and switch it up to the safest thing they can. But right now it's very, very difficult. So the best thing you can do is familiarize gratitude within your mind. And it's such a simple and effective technique. If you started today, within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll already feel that resilience. I know that sitting down and meditating is a lot harder for some people. This one, everyone can do. And the point is that you have to create that familiarity in your mind. You have to clear that comfort. And I was talking about this with a friend, and she told me that she has a list of about 20 to 30 things that she likes to do that make her feel happy about any moment. If she's feeling down, she'll do one of those things. And that's a really wonderful thing to do. I think if you're going to start somewhere and you don't want to start with a gratitude journal, definitely start there. And there's a difference between pleasure and training your mind to think positively. Having some things like, I love to enjoy a glass of wine. I love my morning coffee. These things bring me pleasure. But training your mind to be grateful for these by literally taking that time at night to write it down with a pen and paper, it trains your mind to think in a different way. And that resilience. I am running out of batteries. I gotta hurry up and finish. Okay. Another thing is you need to take the time to notice if you have a lot of negative distorted thinking patterns. And these are also very fast track. They're in your subconscious mind. When I talk about the subconscious mind, by the way, I'm talking about that automatic thinking that all your emotions come from, all of your habits come from this. You have your critical analytical mind. And if I want to say the difference, it's like, if you're going to cross a red light, your critical mind said, oh, no, don't cross that red light. Don't do that. And sometimes in life, you set goals, you consciously set a goal. You're like, okay, well, I want to get really, really fit. I want to do this, I want to do that. And then after the motivation and the willpower inevitably die down, you just don't do it anymore. And that's because in your subconscious, in your automatic thinking, there's a lot of negativity or a lot of counterproductive thoughts, or thoughts that don't coincide with your conscious desires. And sometimes that's what makes things really difficult when people want to make a change. In hypnosis, one of the biggest things that we do is that we talk about what the conscious desire is, and then we kind of explore, well, is this really... Oh, my camera's running out of battery. I have to hurry up. Today's a bit of a rush. I love that I said it's a nice cozy video, and I'm like, come on, let's go. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, so in hypnosis, we say, okay, well, what are the thinking patterns that back this up? And if there are none, we install them by bringing the brainwave down to a theta state, and then we plant those positive, powerful suggestions. One of the best ways for you to know what are the thoughts that right now don't serve you and that are coming at you really, really automatically is to download my free ebook. It goes over the 10 most common automatic negative distorted thinking patterns. So things such as labeling, shooting on yourself, and all of them, I explain them in detail. I have a one pager that you print out, and you spend 2 weeks just being aware. Hey, how many times a day do I do this? Every time someone says this, is this how my mind works? And then once you do that, I go into detail about explaining why it is that you jump to that conclusion. So you hit a core belief that is just not valid. When I say not valid, is that your beliefs are just that. They're your beliefs. They are not facts. The point is that when you were really young, you were introduced to the world. Some things were told to you that were great, some things weren't. You didn't really take the time to analyze them. They just went into your mind, and in a literal sense. You grew up, and when you became very conscious and your conscious, critical, analytical mind developed, you have to understand that that subconscious or that initial programming trains you to think a certain way. And in any day, any moment, you can really pay attention to about 7 to 9 things. So if you're trained to think of something in a certain way, you're going to nitpick those 9 to 10, those 7 to 9 things, and the belief that you originally had got you to seek a bunch of information, a bunch of evidence, and then you reconfirm that belief, you hardwired it, and by the time you're my age, I'm 35, almost 95% of your behavioral pattern comes from that automatic thinking. But the point is that your brain is very plastic, and they say, oh, the older you get, the more difficult it is to change. It's not true. It's your willingness and your desire to let go of these thoughts that don't serve you, and take that little time to go and say, hey, well, this is a thought and belief that I don't like. And understand that the more of these thoughts that you have that you don't like, that you don't take the time to extract and replace, the more you're going to have bad feelings, the more you're going to feel anxious, the more you're going to just feel unsettled and drained. You know, a lot of times we spend time pushing things down, and that, you know, it just drains your energy. It creates so many emotional blockages. And I have about 5% left. Let me make sure I have everything. The final tip that I'm going to share with you today is something I touched on my last video, or the second to last video, and that is that in a time of extreme uncertainty, such as what's going on with COVID-19, a really good thing to do is to take the time and create as much certainty as you can. So in that video, I talked about understanding the 6 basic human needs and taking the time to understand what your basic human needs are, in the sense of what priorities are good for you. Taking that time to build maybe a strong morning routine or night routine, or any kind of routine in the day, really, and putting an alarm on your phone to make sure that you do this bring you that level of comfort. And I was having a conversation with a friend, and he was saying how he was just so scared because he doesn't know what's going to happen to him, and what if something, God forbid, something happens to him and then his children are left behind. And I know I don't have any children, but it's oddly enough one of my biggest fears. I said, well, why don't you start making some videos for them? Film like at their 18th birthday and just do things, create as much certainty as you can, and the rest to say, well, I don't know, and that is okay. Mind the words that you use. Make sure you do not over exaggerate and overindulge on saying crazy words, because when you say something like, this is so insane, I feel like I'm gonna die, I feel like I'm gonna suffocate, it literally triggers something inside your brain. And over time, you get that triggered in your body. So mind the words. I'm gonna link below, go below and check out some of the words I say that you can use to change a stressful situation, to reduce your anxiety. You have to understand that you are not your thoughts. Enjoyed this video. I hope it brought you a lot of value. Hit me up with any questions. I would love to be there for you guys, and if there's more, something you want me to develop in my next video, let me know. Otherwise, have a great Sunday. I have 1% left. One thing.